We got ourselves a 4-man on Team Blue, but we're going to take a look at Brat or Chetka? What is this, Brat? Wait, hold on. Where is he? Wait, Alfera? Wait, wrong one. F1. Brat, which means brother in Russian. We got Dread here as well. Croopers on a Paladin. Obliv going to be rolling out first. Oh, fire? Has to be fire, dude. It looks kind of frosty with all this. No, it has to be fire. Getting interrupted by Alfera, though. And then Nova still trying to land a polymorph. So far, hasn't been able to. There goes the G-Pie with Obliv going back. One leg raised. And that's going to be Meteor coming down off Wera with a lot of Pyroblasts as well as Crucibles, though. That's going to be Darkness immediately out of the team. And as he didn't feel like he was going to be able to survive the damage without popping a big old Darkness. Might as well put that 3-minute cooldown on CD immediately. Sacred Chicken Proc for Alfera. Tried to land an eye beam. Is he going to be able to recover back on health on Obliv? Does hit him with a big old dress. It's going to be another Nova. Onto the Demon Hunter with a Ring of Frost for Obliv to catch himself a little bit of a reset. Does have the Kites for Alfera thrown down to Mally. That's going to be a couple Pyros with the Fire Blast. Ooh, Mally just completely consuming his health as Mastery continues to burn. Alfera is having to play very defensive here. No blur, no darkness. Is he going to fly up in the air? Trying to see if he can meta some of the damage from Obliv. Might be able to mute it. Breath to follow Obliv. Oh, landing the Scorches Pyros. Taking out the man himself. Tulan is going to be up next as a monk on Team Blue. Blink coming out for Obliv. That's just playing those blinks to get out of stuns quite well. Tried to land a repel into Tulan. I'm thinking he might end up drinking out of it. On Team Blue, we also have Cracker. We have ourselves... What's his name? Vanda Ricklol. We got ourselves Blue Goalie. Is that his name? Blue Gilly. Blue Gilly. Blue. Call him Blue. That's what the first 3 letters is to spell blue. On Team Red, we got us as Obliv, fighting through the tooth and nail against Tulan. As Tulan goes for a wall as well as diffuse magic, missing a Whirling Dragon Punch, porting away in Obliv. Might just wait for the monk to recover and come back to him, unless he's thinking of pushing up. And on Team Red, we also have Yawashi. I almost forgot you, my man. How you doing, my dude? Hope you're having a good one. Obliv catching a couple Fire Blasts into Tulan Poly to follow right after. G-Pie cooking up. Tulan sitting in the polymorph with Scorches to fall for Obliv. Is Obliv going to go for big dots? Huge damage on Tulan. That's going to be some big master burning karma, but you to come. Oh, where's your karma, my man? Oh, my man's. Cracker pushing up at Obliv. And then with a bit of a Blade Storm. Not really the strongest ability, but it looks like he was kind of like, hey man, what's up? I think it was kind of like a mix of like a bow without really hitting him so hard, but also like, yeah, let's just get this damage rolling. Greater Pyro onto the freeze, onto Cracker, does break somehow. Stormbolt hits Obliv, he does have a blink for it. Leap for Cracker as he gets hit with a breath. Cracker's already at low health, having to heal himself. Safeguard Chicken Proc does get a fear onto Obliv. Having to go for Rage Regeneration that early, Obliv gonna deny him any healing. No Rage Regen for you, my man. So far, Obliv has had himself an exceptionally good run. Beating monks and beating demon hunters. Cracker trying to get a charge into Obliv. Blink coming out for Obliv immediately. Mally rolling into Cracker. Breath to follow right after. He is in that execute range. Cracker does get a stun into Obliv. No blink available this time. Cracker, though, barely getting any health back. Does have to go for a massive heal with him. With also commanding shout. Obliv trying to get himself a cast on Scorch. Cracker not letting him happen. It does get himself a charge heal real quick for Obliv. Trying to go for Blaze Storm in case the breath comes out by Obliv. There goes that breath. Cracker barely in health available. Needs to heal himself as much as possible. Oh man, the Nova, the combust, not combust, the living bomb. And it looks like Vindark Lol. Is that his name? Vindark Vinny? Can you call him Vinny? Actually going for the big old paw. Big arcane damage, blinking around, getting those missiles flying onto Obliv. I don't think Obliv has a chance here anymore. He is super behind on health. So I don't even know if he really has a heal. Does still have Cauterize though, worst to worst. Breath onto Vindy and does land a polymer on him. No, he doesn't get him knocked up in the air. Temporal coming up. Obliv might be able to heal himself here. And there goes that massive heal. I think he had to go with the Warlock Healthstones from Brat. Man, Vindy. Blinking around with the missiles. I didn't even think Arcane Mage, man. Combustion coming out for Obliv. Does he get spell stolen? It does not. Does get an over onto Vindy. And Vindy, I think, blinked while Node for a second. Does he land a polymer finally? Does get interrupted on it. Vindy. It's almost like this man is playing Temporal or something. He just does not get polymorphed ever. And Obliv is kind of behind on health right now. I think for the first time this duel ever. As Vindy trying to see if he can sneak around the fire, Mage might be able to make a play. As we about to hit the 5-minute mark, it looks like it's going to be invis by Vindy. Breath by Obliv, does not get to land the poly, does land the poly. Maybe this where Obliv gets to turn around. Maybe this is the play. Big Meteor down into Vindy. Does he hit over the Mally too? No Mally, at least not yet. Bliv is trying to see if he can walk away from Vindy. Vindy needs to stand still for a second to get missiles flying. But he's not really wanting to get himself interrupted right now. Just gotta try to wait it out. It's gonna be shot melt by a Bliv for a second. Another short poly onto Vindy. Trying to get a G-Pie in there. Does he get to do it? Does get to do it. And Mally rolling onto Vindy as well. Might be maybe a lot of damage for Obliv. Oh, he temporal the whole G-Pie? You kidding me? I don't even think he got it up that fast. Unless he stole Obliv's temporal. Which could have happened. Obliv tried to get a Nova onto Vindy. Vindy is just blinking around the man. Pretty sure Arcane Mages won't have the same, or maybe they will have the same ability actually. They do have a faster or lower cooldown on time warp in Shadowlands, but looks like Obliv is starting to claw back some damage back into Vindy. Couple of those Fire Blasts, the Master rolling into Vindy. Couple of hits back to back. Couple of Pyros is actually putting Vindy in a spot where his health is actually starting to lower down a little by little. Trying to steal AD shields from Obliv whenever he can. And Vindy is the one really taking fire damage right now. And while his ass is on fire, he's looking to get himself a bit of a reset behind the pillar. Somehow Obliv went from a situation where he was, I felt like 100% on a losing streak, down to actually ahead of Vindy for a second here. At least in terms of the health. Vindy blinking on top of Obliv, has double the shield available for a second here. Nova by Obliv stops Vindy in place, does burn a shimmer in order to get next to him. Combustion up and running for Obliv. Does he go for instacast? This would be a perfect opportunity to do so. Does Obliv go for combustions on purpose, by the way? He popped combustions knowing that Vindy could take it from him. I wonder if he does it on purpose so that Vindy has to spend more time, like, spell stealing stuff. More time spell stealing, less time doing damage, and Obliv can really go for some numbers. I wonder. But Vindy now looks like he recovered back on health little by little. Both of the mages are playing Crucible of Flame, so that gives him quite an opportunity to heal or to do a lot of damage. And I think for Obliv, that fire damage might actually burn into the mastery, which works out for him. For Vindy, if he's playing Gushes, this could be a dot that might proc Gushing. If he's playing like a very high haste playstyle. That's going to be a Shadow Meld by Obliv. As his rotating defense is just trying to hug pillars and stay alive. He definitely is behind on mobility. Having to blink every 15 seconds on GCD makes it harder for Obliv to really get around Vindy. Dropping down the Mally, Vindy did have a temporary rolling. Not going to recover a lot of health from this. But he's also not going to lose too much neither because Obliv didn't really push in with offensive playstyle. It's going to be temporal. Might be able to be passed around between the two mages. And Obliv does get a pyre rolling onto Vindy. But not enough mastery damage. I mean, maybe his Pyre Blasts are amassing little by little. He might be able to get someone rolling. He just needs himself a little bit of time. Does get interrupted onto Vindy. No arcane damage available. He is trying to get some Scorches rolling. But Obliv himself is taking quite a bit of proc damage from Vindy too. Invis trying to come out for Obliv. Vindy will not let him do it. Obliv could be going down here. Does have Ice Block. It's going to Ice Block right now while he has a little bit of a shield available. Only a minute left on the Combustion or Cauterize. Might be able to get cauterized if he's continuing this run, but so far he's super low on health. Does get another interrupt on Vindy. Obliv barely has any health. Any dots could proc stuff on him. Does get himself a shield. Vindy just needs to clear the shield and get some flat damage into Obliv's health bar. Temporal available for Obliv. Breath onto Vindy. Does not go for a poly. Vindy having to blink in. This is actually not going to get line of sight. Obliv does get a shield last second. Ring of Frost trying to come out. And Vindy will not run into the Ring of Frost. Barely any health left. And Obliv does get dethroned in that Mage versus Mage duel. Is this the opportunity to Vindy to take it back? There's still plenty of dudes on Team Red to get through. Wash is here, Cripper is here, Brat is here, and Dread is also here. This could be the opportunity for the Arcane Mage Vindy to make his a bit of a preview of Orb flowing at Dread. Does dodge the dress. It's going to be a stun onto Vindy. As Dread trying to get some damage onto Vindy. Looks like he's just going to run away from the man. Taking a lot of damage, poly onto the pad, and Vindy blinking in to get more slows and another set of missiles onto Dread, trying to get himself a bit of a heal. Not going to be happening as Vindy does have the mobility and therefore does have the control. The pet getting repolled again. Dread does go for a big exhilaration for himself. Has cooldowns available. Harpoons on top of Vindy with an ice trap to try to at least stop him in place for a second. And a charge trap to follow. Does he go for a heal? He might end up going for a heal. I think he'll have to try to get himself a camo. Not gonna happen. No onto the hunter. No real way to get damage onto Vindy. He needs to get the dots up and running immediately. Vindy blinking away from Dread, but still in line of sight. Trying to get himself the smallest amount of heal. One gonna happen. Cannot drop this missiles. That's gonna be down for the count for the hunter as we hit in the 10-minute mark, boys, with dampener rolling up. Oh my goodness, boys. Oh my goodness. Garrote coming in for Yawashi as Vindy does avoid Yawashi, does get to do some damage without the Garrote impeding in the way. There's going to be Yawashi getting the dots up and running onto Vindy. Ice block coming out. Did Yawashi just go for a vendetta? Is that what happened? Is that what the ice block come out? Or did Vindy try not to fall behind on dots and just going for the ice block play because he feels like he can just out-kite Yawashi? Smoke bomb by the rogue does get the slows onto Vindy, but the blinks and shimmers are going to be huge. Does have displacement as Arcane for now until we get into Shadowlands. Does clip Yawashi with an Arcane Orb. Try to hit him with a slow. Yawashi does burn a sprint just to get behind the pillar. That's going to be also Nether Tempest doing damage to him, keeping him in combat or at least keeping him out of stealth. Gonna make it that much harder for the rogue to recover. That's gonna be a mark for death available. Blinking away, and Yawashi just cannot get the kidney shot to set up onto Vindy. I'm not sure what he was trying to do with a mark for death step to Vindy. Why he didn't press kidney shot immediately? But Yawashi's now super behind on health. Could be a vanish. There goes the blind. Could be a vanish. I was gonna say Shadow Meld maybe with a cloak. Could be Shadow Meld with a cloak, just fine. Maybe just gonna wait out for the Daz. Does Vindy let him recover? Does let him catch his re-stealth. And Arcane Orb doesn't do it. The explosions do not do it. Yawashi, it looks like he might be able to recover in health. But he's still playing this very, very defensively as Vindy goes in for the eye. I doubt you're going to be able to get that much food right now, man. Unless Vindy... Wait, did Vindy not see him? I don't think he did. Vindy picked up the eyes. And it doesn't look like he saw Yawashi's health bar. So Yawashi actually healed up to full. He actually ate food behind his own pillar and ate to full. I'm not sure if that's going to really help you. That's probably going to be a bad move right there. Shadow Step coming out for Yawashi. Vindy does have a shimmer available for it. Sprint available for Yawashi. Does use it early. Does catch up to Vindy for a second here. I think hits him with the Toxic Blade. Vendetta rolling onto the Mage right now. Does hit him with a Garrote, but the Nova does separate these two for a moment. Vindy still has a bit of mobility left. As long as he keeps slows into Yawashi and he's able to get those Arcane missiles flying, should be fine. Viz trying to come out for Vindy. Does get a 60% damage reduction. As Reaper Flame's bike comes out into Vindy. Could be the end to the Arcane Mage. And oh, probably should have saved the ice block for a little bit later as Yawashi just hit him with a big old Vendetta and a big old bike, all one after another. Blue gonna be up next as a Feral Druid. Last one left on Team Blue. That's going to be a big old dress by Yawashi. I guess he goes for the bike, then the dress later. I always go for the dress. I usually go for the dressed with my rogue. I can't say always. There's been some situations where we want to switch it up, but I usually go for the dress, then the bike. What is the purpose of switching it up and go with a bike, then dress, boys? What are you thinking? Because I know dress can do a bunch of damage, but so can the bike. A road coming out onto Yawashi, or by Yawashi. He does trinket the bash from Blue, and Blue going to go for a big old damage here. Wall available, just trying to sink the bleeds into Yawashi, and Evasion comes out late as throws her up for Blue, goes for a blind, just trying to see if he can get himself a bit of a reset with the Feral, which might be the best choice right here in this situation, because when the Feral gets you all bled up, and you got Evasion, then you pop Storms, you can't hit him, basically just have to look at him and just not hit him. Garrote. Blue goes in for the, oh my goodness. The Azeroth trinket that's gotten nerfed. Are you sure you want to play that? Gonna be Blue. Gonna hit into kidney shot. It's gonna be... Is that a full Vendetta maybe? It's so hard to see. Looks like it's not a Vendetta. Yawashi just went in for a bunch of damage. Committed a lot of damage. Probably a Toxic Blade as well. As he wants to min-max the damage into Blue. Looking for a bit of a reset. Looks like the dots are still on the Rogue. Does get a Garrote into Blue. Blue does not get the opener damage on him. Does land the bite into Yawashi. So it should be huge bleeds. That's going to be a bash to follow. Big bite right after before the vanish comes out for the Rogue. Blue taking him out. And Kruper's going to be up next as a Retribution Paladin versus Blue, who has a trinket. No rewards, no renewal. So it could be a longer game because the Feral, well... He might need to wait for some of the CDs. For Crippers, honestly, better just pick up the eye and see if you can find them right now. Unless you're going to give him that honor duel. He goes in for a sacrifice, maybe too early. Caught a re-stealth. Caught an opener onto Crippers. He did pick up the eye. Crippers picked up the eyes, but then he didn't even use them. Trying to go for some damage onto Blue Gilly. No wall available for the Feral. Maybe Thorns might be available. Does go for a Nova into Crippers who had of freedoms and immediately NASCAR in after Blue Gillies. He's just trying to heal himself at 60% dampening. Not a lot you can really do right here. And that's going to be the Zotric coming down. Smallest absorb in the world, but still has an 80% damage reduction while they absorb lasts. Blue Gilly just trying to see if he can walk away from Crippers. That's going to be bubble available for Crippers as he's just rotating everything. You know what? I'm committed to taking down this druid. I want to do nothing but take down the druid. If anything I do, the druid is going to go down. Bash the Crippers. He barely has any health. Blue Gilly barely has any health. Thorns are up. He's trying to get some sort of CC onto Crippers. If Blue Gilly can someone catch a reset, Crippers, oh no. Well, Crippers did commit everything at the end. With this high dampening, not a lot you can really do it. In that situation, my man, Bliv taking away 3 kills for the match. What the hell healed against a Bliv? Not a lot of people. Actually, a Bliv healed the most compared to everybody else. Well, there it is, boys. There it is. 8 million damage, man. Against 3 people. How many times like an average player has like what 400, 500, 600 health? So you had to kill all these guys like how many times over with all the heals they had? Jesus, man. All right, boys. Let's get another one going, yeah?